fell asleep on the couch yesterday because I didn't make it to the bedroom, not gonna lie. I didn't. I literally did work and boxing, volunteered, and then there was this specific hot apple cider with vodka in it that just didn't allow me to make it to the bed. But I'm up, it's early. I'm about to go to training. I have my personal training coach for 1 more month. And then I'm fully going to go more into the boxing route. I decided to invest more in that, but also I'm going into 2025 decreasing my expenses because I have a really big goal of becoming an angel investor into funds that invest in underrepresented founders, especially black female founders. So with that being said, I am going to cut a lot of my personal expenses so I can also be investing. Anyways, I was looking at this vinyl cover of Nicki Minaj. I love her so much, mind you. But I didn't realize how beautiful, like just beautiful this album cover is. So I just looked at it this morning. I've been staring at it honestly for like 15 minutes before I even shot this. And I say this to say that I'm just really proud of like the creativity that people put into like the artwork and stuff. Like this stuff really matters. Like the graphic designs, like the video productions, the edits. Like I'm just so into art as a whole. And as y'all know, like Jem is my art, like that is my way of showing art. But I really just appreciate when I see just good solid work. So shout out to whoever made this album cover. All right, good morning, y'all. I finished my first training of the day and I am heading into the office. The intern's not going to come in today. I want to kind of work on a few more processes before I bring him back into the office. So I told him that he could do some remote work today, and Monday I'll bring him back in so we can continue shooting content. But I do want to say that the content that we had dropped a few days ago, which when I'm right now today is December 19th. So a few days ago we had dropped a content piece that's doing and performing very well. So I just want to make sure that we keep up that kind of momentum and just make sure that we're not bringing him in and just kind of winging it. I absolutely hate winging it in every form. And if y'all know me personally, like my friends would say, yeah, she does. I'm not the go with the flow kind of girl. I'm not gonna lie. I need a plan. So I'm working on a plan today, and then I will be doing some more quality assurance testing. We knocked out a lot of the issues that Apple sent us out of nowhere. Let me just be fully transparent. This app has been in the App Store for quite some time now, and the screenshots that we updated the App Store with has also been in the App Store for well over a month and a half. So all of a sudden they don't like the screenshots that we sent alongside with like some other technical issues that they sent over. So I'm assuming that the app reviewers change frequently. That would make sense, but that everybody has a different opinion when they're reviewing the apps in the App Store when we submit a submission, and pretty much for anybody who submits to the App Store. So we came across somebody who must be a lot more nitpicky, and there's nothing wrong with that because the changes that they want us to make are things that obviously will improve the experience of the app. So we look at it as a positive, but in the same time, it's pushing back the changes that we immediately needed to push. So now we basically have to address those issues plus the new issues that have arose in the past week. So that's just been a slight bit frustrating, but at the end of the day, this is a time where a lot of people are winding down and we're winding up. So we're getting ahead of the game and we're going to go into January strong. So I'm not even mad about it. So that's really it. Still getting over my sinus infection. Like, I took my antibiotics and everything, but I still have like this like a long cough. I can't wait till it's gone. I'm hoping that it's gone before I go to Paris next week. Me and my mother will be there, and we land December 26th. We fly out from Miami December 25th, and we're just going to spend the day in Miami on the 24th. And we said that we want to kind of continue doing that as a tradition. So yeah, but anyways, I didn't mean to turn this way, but say hi to my car. Anyways, so today I just want to address like a common question that I get, like, was college worth it? Was it a waste of time? Was it a waste of money, loans, all that stuff? And I'm going to give you my personal opinion on why I did choose to go to college, what year I went to college, because that is very important, so we can talk perspective, because this answer is subjective. Like, everybody is going to have a different opinion. We all went to different colleges, we all went in different years, which means the society may have looked way different at the times that everybody provides this opinion. So first and foremost, I went to high school in Delaware. I was playing basketball. When I entered high school, I had the aspirations of going to school on a full-time scholarship, a full ride scholarship with playing basketball. And about my junior year, I kind of saw where these coaches wanted to place me, in the sense of, like, a lot of them were telling me that I wasn't going to be able to study the major that I wanted to study. Let's start there. I wanted to study computer science, and I did study computer science. But because computer science requires a lot of laboratory work and, like physics, discrete mathematics wasn't laboratory actually, but physics and just a couple of other classes that require lab work, which, by the way, I don't understand why I took physics, but we're gonna get into the parts that, like, pros and cons eventually in this video. But I'm going to start off with just my general issue with how these coaches had treated me when I was in my junior and senior year of college, when I was speaking to college coaches about playing basketball, and why it drifted me away from taking on an athletic scholarship. So that's number one. Number two, about 90% of the offers that I received were in, like, New Jersey, Philly, other cities, even in Pennsylvania, one in New York, and then one all the way in what was that college? It was called, like, New something. It was far. Oh, Vermont. It was all the way in Vermont, Norwich University. So anyways, I had got some offers, but they were all in places that I just didn't want to be in, like New York. I've never had aspirations of living in New York up until now. Like, I could totally see myself doing maybe a 3 months in New York or something. It would have to be like the spring or fall, but all 4 years of college, no. The only college I would have wanted to go to that was still more up north in comparison to Florida at the time was Howard University. I wanted to go to Howard so bad, y'all. Love the college tour, love the vibe. HBCU, baby. Like, I wanted to go so bad, but I just didn't get their attention, unfortunately. So that was that. But even with all that being said, I know some people who did play basketball at Howard. Maybe things have changed, but again, I still had all these issues with the whole me declaring my major as computer science. It's like they just wanted me to basically choose what, and I don't mean to offend anybody when I say this, but an easy major like criminal justice, sports administration, like it was like just like things that I didn't want to do. I didn't care about those majors. Like, and one person did tell me that I could do business, and they could try to shift my schedule so it could be like lighter, because I would be traveling a lot for basketball. But the fact of the matter is, like, I wasn't going to go to school at least in my bachelor's program for business, I wanted to go to school for computer science because I already knew since a young kid that I wanted to build an app, like a $1 billion app in general. Like, and while I didn't know what the idea was, I needed to understand the framework of building an app and all the things that go into it. And I wasn't going to learn that with a business degree. I personally think that people, and again, I'm saying now, but I'm personally feel like we should be more creative when we're selecting our classes. Like, I didn't have much of a selection when it came to electives and stuff, because if I was able to go to school for business but take a lot of computer science classes, which I understand what a minor is, y'all, by the way, but I'm not saying the minor part. Like, if I would have been able to handpick the certain classes, that would have been lovely. So I don't know, flexibility, I guess. Now, I graduated high school in 2014, and I graduated from college in 2018, and then I graduated again with my master's degree 2021. In 2014, boot camps were just starting to, really get popular, right? And I can't remember if it was like which one I first started hearing about. I think it's called like Grace and Hopper, or Grace, something like that. But my issue was, what the hell is that? Like, what the hell is a boot camp? I didn't know what a boot camp was. I'm 19 years old hearing about this, and I was worried to not go to college and then attend one of these boot camps and feel like that was a waste of money, because these are like 6-month programs, or sometimes 12. I guess it depends on how dedicated you are to your schedule, like going part-time, full-time. But I just couldn't get in my head that I'm going to learn everything I needed to learn in 6 to 12 months or even 18 months and then roll out with a job. It just at the time sounded too good to be true. Nowadays, I see that was actually a smart thing, because you really can learn. Like, everybody's learning ability is different, but it doesn't take you 4 years to learn a programming language, and to be honest, a lot of the syllabus that I had, Lord, a lot of the, what are they called? I don't know. A lot of the classes, I'll just say, that were part of my computer science program was bullshit. I went to St. Thomas University. I started out Bethune-Cookman, go Wildcats, and I can honestly say that they had a good curriculum. The first year I was in the computer engineering program, but that school was just not for me. Daytona Beach is just a dead end, in my opinion, also. So I wanted to be in a more thriving city in college, so I transferred to St. Thomas University. And again, back then, I can genuinely say that their program was bullshit. And sorry for anyone who attends St. Thomas University. This is not the one in Houston, by the way. I know there's a University of St. Thomas in Houston, so this is not to get confused with that one. That one I have no affiliation with, but I went to St. Thomas University in Miami Gardens, and that one was bullshit. I constantly used to go to the dean and tell them like the issues that I was facing, that they weren't giving me advanced classes like I needed. I was constantly taking a lot of beginner friendly classes for Python, PHP, JavaScript, web programming, etc. But there wasn't, for the 3 years that I attended that school, I should have went from, these beginner classes in these languages to the then advanced classes, and they should have allowed me to select if I want to go into the mobile app development one or the web programming one, or maybe 1 year I focus on web programming, the next year I focus on app development. I believe that it's good for you to learn both, to be honest. So just becoming a full stack developer in general would have been so smart, but unfortunately they did not do good with that. I took database and architecture as well. I also took operating systems. I took some interesting classes, but it just could have been so much better. And if it was my curriculum, that's the word I was looking for. But if it was my curriculum, I for sure would have hand selected things much better, especially just thinking about what's in, like what's actually in and worth learning, right? And they didn't do a good job with that. So I would say that was something I did not like about college. I did not get my money's worth in regards to what I was learning. That college was not worth more than 10 to 15,000 a year, and that school was probably, I think, like 45,000 a year. So let's start with that. I'm going to go into the office, do some work, and then I'm going to go into what I did like about college, and then we'll just go from there. I cannot wait to get these Korean tacos. My stomach is touching my back right now, y'all. My stomach is touching my back. Okay, y'all, so I told y'all I was going to go into the office, but I actually just had heard about this new coffee. Well, maybe not, it's probably not new, but a coffee shop called Doshi House. And I was like, you know what, let me go over there. It's only 5 minutes from the office anyways, and I wanted to try something new and be inspired. So I'm going to get into a little bit of work, and then we're going to get back to my whole opinion about college in general. So I ate my Korean tacos. They were good. I forgot to show them to y'all, but I did take a picture, so I'll just put them right here. But got my tea. It's still hot, but this will help my cough. And I'm just going to get back, drop my tea. Not all of it, but I'm clumsy. But I'm just going to get back into the whole conversation about college. So let's talk about what I did like about college. As y'all know, lived in Delaware for high school, and I was really eager to get the hell out of Delaware. I wanted to get so far out of Delaware that I truly didn't even want to be even within a couple hours of it. Like, I was so over it. I knew that if I had went to school in Delaware or surrounding Delaware, or even going to school in Virginia was too close to Delaware to me, because I would have went back to Delaware so often. I know me. Sometimes when I'm leaving something, I still have a part of me subconsciously that tries to stay. I was visiting Delaware like almost every month or every other month when I did go to school in Daytona Beach, and even when I went to school in Miami, I started toning down from it, but it was a sense of homesickness that I didn't even have, and I didn't understand it back then, but I guess just because that's all I knew. All I knew was Delaware and Philly growing up. I guess I just wanted to always feel like I had a sense of home. Miami was never a sense of home for me. Even though I lived there for a while, I never felt like I was at home. But I did know that if I was going to school like just a few hours away or in Delaware, I would just be kind of trapping myself and telling myself, you know what, you can stay here. You can start your career here. You can build here. You can blah, blah, blah. And that just wasn't it. I needed to push myself. I've known since high school I need to push myself, especially because I had made a decision to not play basketball in college. So I decided to go to school in Florida, and I would say that those were still my best years because I made incredible friends. I learned a lot of things. I truly was inspired living in Miami. Miami is a city that is diverse, but also you just see things and get so inspired. You can go on a boat in Bayside Marketplace, or even in Fort Lauderdale and Las Olas, they have these like boats that you can just like go on for like $25 through $50 depending on the day, depending on the special. And you can just see these beautiful mansions that people own. And it's not just like tech founders or white CEOs. Like it's a diverse group of people that are millionaires and billionaires that own these beautiful homes. So that was like one thing. Two, just like seeing how the city operated was actually very inspiring to me. It wasn't as fast as living up north, but it wasn't like the South slow, but I really did enjoy it. The entertainment side of Miami is incredible as well, especially back then more than now, because a lot of the areas of Miami is gentrified. I really truly got to experience Miami living in South Florida for college, and I really, really appreciated it. It grew my love for DJing. It made me want to build this app as well. This whole app story for Jem Social started in Miami. When I saw the fragmented opportunities out in Miami, it really did encourage me to build. And I've always wanted to build. Like every single year, I've always wanted to do something. Like you just can't sit around and do nothing in Miami. Like you gotta hustle. And whether you're in college, whether you're out of college, like you just can't not do anything. Like it's just that simple. You gotta have some hustle and bustle to you. And as I get older, I wanted to slow that down, which is why moving to Texas was a good decision for me last year. But it was the perfect place I wanted to be in. When I was in Daytona Beach, it was slow, ain't shit was going on. So I really did enjoy that, because I'm going to be real, I wouldn't have gotten to Miami without college. My parents barely wanted me to go, even when I decided to transfer to school in Miami, but I was able to convince them that this is the right decision for me, especially because I'm going to school here. I'm going to make friends here. I'm going to build relationships here. I'm going to get an internship. I'm going to end up starting my career out here. Like, it was much easier to convince my parents that, hey, I want to go to school in Miami because I was going to get my education. But if it was just like, hey, I'm just going to move to Miami, they would have been like, hell no. They wouldn't have helped me, so it was the only way I would have really, truly gotten out of Delaware when I wanted to. So I would say that was the good thing. Another thing was my school was definitely known for the School of Law, but they also had a good business school. They still do. And they had pitch competitions. I learned how to start pitching when I was 19 years old because I entered the pitch competition. I've won 3 years in a row. I didn't win first place, but I won third place the first year. And then I won first place the second year and first place the third year. And I took that capital and had built my first app, Vibes. And I just learned a lot about project management. I learned a lot about vendor relationships, budget allocations, resource allocation. And it actually made me want to become a technical project manager. I really started my career in front-end engineering. I was already doing that in my internships and even a paid part-time job. But I quickly realized right as soon as I graduated college, I stopped my front-end development and I went straight into project management. And to this day, I love project management. I love the idea of connecting with developers and also connecting with stakeholders and seeing what the business requirements are. What are the technical requirements? What are the user stories? Which then kind of actually got me into product management as well. But it all started there, But my career trajectory started in school. And I will give them that because I had an opportunity to build something of mine and I learned right then and there, I don't want to be a developer. I want to be a project manager. And don't get me wrong, there's been numerous opportunities that made me want to go back into just being a software developer instead of a project manager because you obviously can't, the sky is the limit, the amount of money that you can make as a software developer. But let me tell you this, project management isn't just a career, it's a lifestyle. I believe that project managers are one of the most organized folks in the world if they apply that same knowledge that they learn in project management into their actual lives. I also believe that when you apply those principles to your actual self, your life can get and be much easier because how you allocate your time, how you allocate your money, how you allocate your projects, how you allocate your friendships, relationships, etc. It's a powerful skill. And I personally wasn't getting that from being a developer. Now, being a developer definitely gave me a lot of creativity, but so did being a project manager. So again, I do appreciate that I learned that in college. And don't get me wrong, there's pitch competitions outside of colleges, but just to be able to go to this pitch competition, then also, I'm known around school for winning it, having people download my app, help be so supportive, just oh my gosh, it was just a beautiful thing. And community. Let's get into community. There was a great community at the school that I went to. There was a lot of Caribbeans there, so I really did get in touch with more of my Caribbean side, and I really did appreciate that. I was always able to DJ and make extra money just working at the college and DJing for the college, and even DJing for other colleges surrounding as well, and college parties and stuff. So just being that college DJ, it helped me really just get my name out there, helped me get my first app that I really went public, I'll say on. It helped me get that out there. It just taught me a lot about business principles, networking, building community, and so on. All the things that I've learned from being in college truly has translated even to what I do now. So that was lovely as well. I would also say being in college taught me that even when you have little to nothing, still make it something. I wasn't working full time in school. I wasn't making a lot of money. I would say between DJing and work study, I probably was making about $2,000 DJing, work study, and I had a VA benefit because my mom is a disabled veteran. So I was getting money from the Chapter 35 program. So, but I would say like about $2,000 a month I was receiving just from all of my endeavors, and I had rent. I just didn't want to stay on campus anymore, because when I calculated how much I was paying staying on campus versus off campus, I was like, I'd rather have my own place than you stay on campus and then I have 3 other roommates. It just didn't make sense. So I would say that just, being able to manage my money was very helpful. Also, I learned a sense of independence. I didn't live in a really nice area in Miami at first. I had a lot of issues actually even at the apartment. And then eventually I ended up moving to Broward County, which I love Broward. Found a really good deal and ended up just paying a couple $100 more to move out there. Ooh, this is something. Also, I really had a good time living in my own place in college, because it made me grow up a little faster, learning how to cook, paying bills on time, just, monitoring my credit score. And it also drove me into eventually buying my first home in my master's program. So I would say that just when you have little to nothing, you always think about, wow, what am I going to do with the money when I actually make something of myself after college? Like, how am I going to allocate? I was already looking into what my salary should be one day, how I would allocate that, because I had to move so slim that when I knew that I was going to make a certain amount of money in my career trajectory, that I was like, hey, I'm going to always put this much money away. And when I do get extra money past this threshold, I'm going to put this away, that away. Like, I just always had aspirations of what I would do when I got money. So I would even say that even being a founder now, we're kind of starting all over, and I went from making 6 figures to paying myself way less. I still had that mindset that I had in college. This isn't super new to me. It's like, oh, wow, I'm just going to treat myself like I'm back in college, because I've already been here before and I was fine back then. I'm going to be fine now. But that college mindset of, child, I was already damn near broke, and I still made it. That's how I feel now, in a way, kind of, because I'm not broke. But I definitely would say if I just had relied on just my salary, like now, and nothing else from what I've gained in the past, then yes. But I have incredible savings. I have some properties, so I make a little bit extra money just from that too. And I sold my house in Fort Lauderdale. So anyways, with that being said, I'm not broke. But I would say back then, when I was making only like $2,000 a month, and then my bills came to about $1,700 at the time on what I was paying, yeah. I would say, whatever was left over for the month, that little $300, I made that thing stretch for sure. So I would truly say that College Bree really helped formulate who I am today. Would I recommend people go to college nowadays? Yeah, I would. If you want to be around community, if you have the ability to get a scholarship, if you can attend a college with sororities, if you want to pledge, that's one thing I regret. I regret that I didn't pledge, but I didn't go to a school that allowed myself to pledge. In St. Thomas, they didn't have that. But I wish I did that. That's something I really wish I did. I don't have no regrets, but I'm just saying I wish I did do that. I would also say that if you could find a college that has a good program, like look into the program, really, really, really look into the program. I was in so much of a rush in college to get to college that I really didn't take the time to look at these programs, like, you know. So I would say make sure that the program makes sense. Like, are you truly learning? Look up to college and see what other people say about the program too. I mean, it always goes down to the program, how much it costs. If you can get it, partly covered, fully covered, if you can go to college and pay little to nothing, I would say do it. Honestly, I would say do it. There's no boot camp in the world that could have still made me feel like I'm going to skip college for this. Nah, not going to lie. Those 4 years, well, not including my master's program, but that going to school for my bachelor's, those 4 years were incredible. I learned a lot about myself. I grew. I made incredible friends, and I'm still friends with to this day. Just so much has happened in college, and my story from college and such is just, it'll never be replaced because that's what college was about, So I just can't see myself ever telling my nephews and nieces don't go to college. I sincerely don't. But if they have the opportunity to go and they especially can get it covered, I definitely encourage them to go. Just go to a good college. I wouldn't say the college I went to was great, but I still had a great experience. And it's something I'll always look back on. So that was my opinion. I hope y'all understand and respect it.